My name is Bailey Barker, and my response to the question, how does the graphic novel expand on the ideas of Kafka's version of the Metamorphosis, is as follows. The Metamorphosis graphic novel expands the story in a greater way because it's represented through pictures instead of words. It helps me understand what I'm reading because, of course, everything is easier to grasp when shown through a visual. The page most similar to the graphic novel, or as I had pictured it, would be page 120. In this page, the man struggles to move as a vermin, and in his attempt to get out of bed, he managed to fall to the floor. This is shown through several pictures of him before he falls, and when the clerk arrives at his house, I pictured the scene almost exactly how it was presented in the graphic novel. Also in the scene, when the chief clerk appears at his home, tension is added to the scene because in addition to Gregor's family knocking at his door, the clerk is too. They all angrily bombard Gregor's room with stress and noisiness. Through the picture, I can tell how nerve-wracking the moment is, especially with the use of onomatopoeias. The fonts are changed to represent the moment and how the word is stressed. For example, the onomatopoeia ring is changed to show that he is overwhelmed by the doorbell ringing. Even the shape of the speech bubble can present how he reacts to the onomatopoeia. One idea that Cooper focused on was the state that Gregor was in. Besides the fact that he has suddenly turned into an insect, he still worries about going to work and failing his family. The author of the graphic novel focuses on not only his physical state, but his mental state, through pictures that can show his facial expressions. Many of the events that happen, however, cannot be represented. Stated in the novel, The Metamorphosis, there was a loud thump, but it wasn't really a loud noise. His fall was softened a little by the carpet, and Gregor's back was also more elastic than he had thought, which made the sound muffled and not too noticeable. He had not held his head carefully enough, though, and it hit it as it fell. Annoyed and in pain, he turned it and rubbed it against the carpet. This quote explains his muffled fall, and it is represented in the graphic novel in a very unclear manner. If not for page 121, you would not know that he had fallen out of his bed in the graphic novel. However, Cooper interprets most of Kafka's ideas very accurately and makes it enjoyable to view. The only difference that I recognized would be the lack of personal thought bubbles from Gregor. The novel is in a first-person perspective, so in switching to the graphic novel, many of the actions that were in the original novel cannot be presented. One example of this would be the reaction of waking up and finding himself as an insect. You cannot describe his personal thoughts and feelings through a picture. In the graphic novel, it occurred to him how simple everything would be if someone came to help him. It occurred to him how simple everything would be if somebody came to help him. Two strong people. It occurred to him how simple everything would be if somebody came to help him. Two strong people. He had his father and the maid in mind. This cannot be shown because the graphic novel is not in first-person point of view. The story can be changed to where it is more visually descriptive, but the way that Gregor feels and his emotions can only be expressed through words. An onomatopoeia can represent very little of Gregor's emotions. This does not change the overall theme of the novel, but it can change the way you perceive the story.